the chief host of the event, the Vice Chancellor of iconic Open University, and co-host of the event, the Vice Chancellor of Sokoto State University, and also the State Ministry of Digital Economy, Sokoto State, other respected personalities here present. Good morning to all of you, and may peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you all. Permit me to begin by commending the effort of the Vice Chancellor of iconic Open University, Dr. Shaba, and also the Vice Chancellor of Sokoto State University, Professor Bashir Garba, and also the Commissioner for Digital Economy, Sokoto State, Honorable Bashir Umar Kwabo, along with all other stakeholders for coming up with this international conference discussing on the artificial intelligence in academia, living or living the trend. This topic or this theme for the conference is very apt, particularly in northern Nigeria, where we are mostly very slow when it comes to discussing topical issues in academia. I commend the effort of the organizers, and I also appreciate the organizers for inviting me to serve as the keynote speaker for the international conference. In addition, it is always important for academia to be proactive when it comes to industrial revolution. In the first industrial revolution, Africa was largely left behind. In the second industrial revolution, most of our countries were left behind. In the third industrial revolution, most of the African countries were left behind. And also in the fourth industrial revolution, which commenced around 23 years ago, most of the African countries that we are proud of are becoming more proactive than the first, second, and the third industrial revolution. When it comes to industrial revolution, being proactive is key to the success of each and every institution, and is key to the success of each and every nation. If you look at it in the first industrial revolution, Britain was very successful because of their proactive nature. In the second industrial revolution, British, Belgium, Germany, France, and the US were very successful because of their proactiveness. In the third industrial revolution, in addition to the countries of the second industrial revolution, in the third industrial revolution, Japan and Australia were successful because they were proactive. And if you look at the three industrial revolutions, what we call Industry 1, Industry 2, or Industry 3, Africa was significantly left behind, except particularly Cairo and most probably places like Baghdad and Andalus, that is the current day Spain. Besides this, you will clearly see that most of our developing countries, either in Africa, Asia, and at that time even some in Europe, were left behind. Now we are in the fourth industrial revolution, in which artificial intelligence is part and parcel of it. There is need for our academic institutions, our higher institutions of learning, to be proactive, to discuss the development of the industrial revolution so that we will be able to bridge the gap between the developed countries on one hand and the developing countries on the other. It is because of this I am highly excited, and I also commend the effort of the Vice Chancellors of iconic Open University, Sokoto State University, and also the Commissioner for Digital Economy, Sokoto State, for being proactive in organizing this very important international conference where we are invited to come and discuss the application and the implication of artificial intelligence in academia, whether we are to partake in or we are to abstain from it. This topic is very apt, is very relevant, and is also very key to the success of our academic institutions of our learning. Furthermore, if we take the topic or the theme of the discussion in this conference, artificial intelligence and the future of academia, living the trend, there are two key terms. The first one is the word academia, or rather artificial intelligence. The second one is academia. In summary, we need to ask ourselves, what is the actual meaning of artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence, in summary, is a machine, application, or software that has been produced in order to think and act like humans. It is a situation where a system or a software or an application or even a platform has been developed in order to act and think the way and manner humans behave, think, or act. This is what artificial intelligence is all about. So by implication, as human beings, we are the natural intelligence, while the machine that can think, act, or behave like humans is called artificial intelligence. The term artificial intelligence has been coined in 1955 by one of the leading scholars of Massachusetts Institute of Technology by name John McCarthy. He coined the term artificial intelligence during a workshop that was organized then. So the word emerged, artificial intelligence, in 1955. So by implication, we can safely say that around most probably 69 years ago or thereabout. So even the word artificial intelligence emerged from the academia, that is from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the US, a university in which I happen to be its champion from around 2019 up to 2021. Furthermore, the second key word is academia. Academia can be defined as an environment or institution where research, education, and scholarship take place. So any environment or institution that is concerned, that is passionate about research, education, and scholarship, we can call that environment or that institution an academia. So if we reconcile the two words, artificial intelligence on one hand and academia on the other, we will be able to understand what the topic talks about. And by implication, we can know whether we are to partake in with or to abstain from it. By implication, whether we can leave the trend or leave the trend. In addition, if we consider the topic in general as earlier explained, there are so many benefits to attain from artificial intelligence when it is being adopted by our academia. In addition, there could also be challenges when these artificial intelligence applications are adopted by the academia. It is because of this, one can strongly argue that the adoption of artificial intelligence in academia is very apt, very relevant, and it will bring so many benefits to it. However, there could also be some challenges that must be addressed. So by implication, what I'm trying to promote is the fact that a significant percentage of AI can be adopted in academia, but insignificant part of it requires us to have a second thought on how to manage. Because if care is not taken, there are areas of application of AI that can make our students to be very lazy. And it will also challenge our critical thinking. It will also challenge our creativity among many others. So I always encourage students to learn more about soft skills like critical thinking, collaborative thinking, creativity, complex problem solving, among others. But if artificial intelligence is adopted 100%, you will discover that that vacuum is difficult to be addressed. Only yesterday, I had a discussion with a PhD candidate who is also part and parcel of this international conference. That PhD candidate complained to me about students that whenever you ask them to go and write any homework or to write any assignment for their university assessment, most of them will go to ChatGPT, just present their question, get an answer, print the answer, and submit in hard copy or soft copy, as the case may be. Some don't even read what ChatGPT proposed to them. They only copy it and also submit as their own homework. So by implication, this is a challenge that we must address, because artificial intelligence is supposed to help, not to make us to be 100% dependent on it. Some of the benefits of artificial intelligence in academia, when adopted wisely, firstly, we can attain the benefit of plagiarism detection. It is a software that can guide us to easily detect plagiarism. And many of us fail to realize that even Google search engine is an artificial intelligence system. YouTube itself is an artificial intelligence system. So by implication, even the Turnitin.com that we use to detect originality and similarity index, Turnitin.com is also an artificial intelligence system. So artificial intelligence system, if adopted wisely and intellectually, it will go a long way in supporting academia to detect plagiarism. And particularly in Nigeria, many academic institutions are left behind when it comes to plagiarism. You will discover that somebody may wish to even go online, copy a thesis that has been conducted in an international university somewhere in the world, submit it in your universities here. Some do not even have a system where to detect, and they are still collecting theses only in hard copies. There is not even soft copy that is required. With this, it is indeed a very serious challenge. With artificial intelligence application, we can easily detect plagiarism. Also, exam integrity can be improved significantly with artificial intelligence. There are 1001 ways that we can improve our own exams integrity, precision, and accuracy. Thirdly, with a wise adoption of artificial intelligence in academia, we can also improve our learning of our management system. Adoption of AI also in academia can go a long way to simplify our data collection, data analysis, and result presentation. And also, with a wise adoption of AI in academia, it will go a long way in supporting us and also saving our time when it comes to literature review. Literature review consumes your time. With an adoption of AI, it will simplify your literature review by identifying the relevant journals in each and every category, summarizing your takeaway from it, and present the result. So these are some of the areas that I feel that the adoption of artificial intelligence will go a long way in supporting and promoting our academic institutions. In addition to that, even in the transcription of a faculty lecture, AI is applicable. A situation where you present a lecture, that lecture can be transcribed by an AI system and be presented to you. So these are some of the areas that I feel AI is applicable in academia. And I do hope that this international conference will look at these areas and many more others extensively and intensively and come up with recommendations for our academic institutions of learning in Nigeria, in Africa, and all over the world, where AI can enhance our own teaching, research, learning, among others. Furthermore, as earlier mentioned in the beginning of my presentation, that many African countries are left behind in the fourth industrial revolution. However, few are not far from the developed countries, and Nigeria inclusive. And one of the major reasons why Nigeria is not left behind, we can safely say because of the proactive nature of some of our academic institutions on one hand and government on the other. I could recall safely while serving as the member of the Federal Executive Council in 2021, we have commissioned the first ever National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics in Africa. The center is sited in Abuja. It is the first ever national center on AI in the whole of Africa with around 54 countries. This is the proactive nature we have adopted. And because of this, we were able to discover many young Nigerians with crazy ideas, very productive ideas in the area of artificial intelligence. For instance, in the last 4 years, I led a delegation of young Nigerians to participate in the Gulf Information Technology Exhibition, which took place in the United Arab Emirates, specifically in Dubai. A young Nigerian from Katsina State emerged as the global best in artificial intelligence. He defeated other contestants from 124 countries with over 750 applicants, and he emerged as the global best. And that guy came from Katsina State. This is to show to us that in the fourth industrial revolution, in which AI is part and parcel of it, some of the developing countries are not left behind. At least they are not far from the developed nations, in which Nigeria is one of them. South Africa is also one of them. Rwanda, Kenya, these countries are not very far from the developed countries, including Egypt, Morocco, and also Algeria. So at least we have around 8 to 9 African countries that are not far from the developed countries. And in addition, you will also discover that this is the only industrial revolution that the developing countries are not far from the developed countries. But when it comes to the Industry 1, Industry 2, Industry 3, most of our African countries were left behind except Egypt. And it is because of this, at least the situation is encouraging. However, we have a lot to do. When it comes to some of the applications of AI that are relevant to the academia, most of us are more familiar with ChatGPT. However, today there are so many AI platforms that could be more effective in academia than ChatGPT. One of the major challenges of ChatGPT is generating fake citation. This is one of the major challenges. Some of the citations being generated by ChatGPT, some are not even in existence. And this is indeed a huge challenge in academia. However, some of the most recent platforms that could be more relevant to academia than ChatGPT, we can safely say like Cite AI. Cite AI. The spelling is SCITE.ai. Cite AI is one of the most effective platforms. However, the license is for sale, not free. But it is more effective than ChatGPT in so many areas, where you can go to Cite AI, type your question, go to assistant on the platform, type your own question. It will generate the relevant journals, published journals for you, and it will also simplify the process of identifying key points and also the citations that are required. In addition, you can also have evidencehunt.com. 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 It is also very similar to Cite.ai, and it is mostly free. It helps in academia when it comes to conducting research. You can also try Perplexity.ai. Is another important platform. In addition, also we also have luminaact.com. Is also very relevant in academia, and it helps when it comes to conducting your research. All this elicit.com is also very relevant. These are some of the artificial intelligence platforms that I feel they are key to academia. Furthermore, I do hope that this conference will challenge all of us that by 2025 next year, we will be able to have an artificial intelligence platform that has been developed by a Nigerian or by one of the few African countries that are doing well in IT. We need to have our indigenous platforms where we present what we produce from Africa to the world. And I do hope that Nigeria will be in the forefront of achieving that. So I want to use this as the keynote speaker of this international conference. I am challenging each and every one of us. Let us come together to come up with another very effective platform from Nigeria or from Africa or from any developing country that will be presented to the world, and it will also compete with each and every platform that is being promoted by the developed countries. And I do hope that at the end of this conference, we will be able to at least identify this as one of the major challenges that we need to address. We need to partake, to improve more when it comes to critical thinking, complex problem solving, and we need to move from being consumers to producers. We need to come up with platforms that are relevant, and also they are key that we can present to the whole world to benefit from. And I do hope that this conference also will encourage many more of us to be proactive in our own area. Artificial intelligence is applicable to each and every area, whether you are from natural sciences, whether from social sciences, from art, any course you partake in, you will discover that AI is applicable to your own area. And AI is part and parcel of the fourth industrial revolution, or what we call is part of the emerging technology or disruptive technologies. I do hope and pray that this conference will be a challenge to all of us to sit properly and ensure that we make our academia very proud in Nigeria by producing a solution or a platform in AI that can be respected globally. Once again, I thank the organizers for inviting us and also for nominating me to serve as the keynote speaker of this conference. And I do hope that the outcome of it is going to be beneficial to all of us. Thank you very much, and may the Almighty bless academia, and may the Almighty make all of us very successful.